Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna. So welcome to the Bhagavad Gita Sarartha Varshini Tika, which is the commentary by Vishwanath Chakra Thakur on the Bhagavad Gita, and the sub-commentary which is by Bhaktivinoda Thakur called as the Rasika Ranjan. So in the last class, we began with the 14th chapter. We saw the connection. Krishna spoke about the modes many places in the Gita. And we saw that ultimately in the 13.22, Krishna speaks how Bhaunte Prakriti Janmunan. So that is the seed of enjoyment, Bhaunte. And just like a seed is put, the roots slowly come out. So the three modes are discussed in the 14th chapter. So we have finished this section of the how the soul is conditioned by the modes. Within that, Krishna glorifies this knowledge, how the soul comes in contact with matter, Mama Yonir Mahat Brahma, and how the modes bind the soul. So up till here is what we have seen. When it is impregnated in the Prakriti is of three modes, and we saw that Sattvam Rajas Tama iti. In that, Tatra Sattva Nirmalatvat. It is Sukha Sangena, Jnana Sangena. Raja, Rajaguna, Rajo, it is Ragatma. Ragatma means it is consisting of attraction. Rag means attraction. And Trishna, there is longing for attaining Sangha Samudmam. And that's how it binds. Just give me a minute, please. Somebody is knocking the door. Just sorry for the distraction. Somebody had come to see me. So this is the Rajagun, and the Tamagun is what? Agyanajam Vidhi. And then we saw this. We have to see this verse. As far as I remember, we have to discuss from verse 9. Sattvam Sukha Sanjayate Rajah Karmani Bharata Jnanam Avritatu Tamaha Pramade Sanjayate. Uta Sattva produces attachment to happiness. Sattvam Sukha Sanjayati. Rajas produces attachment to action. Raja Karmani. Sattva binds to happiness, which is coming because of Sukha Sangena. And Raja produces attachment to karma. Raja Karmani. So in one verse, all the three qualities, how they bind, Krishna is explaining. And tamas, covering knowledge. Jnanam avrita tu tama. Produces attachment to inattention. Pramade sanjayate uta. So this pramada sanjayate uta means sattvam sukha sanjayate is there. Raja karmani sanjayate uta. And tama pramade sanjayate uta. So like that we have to understand. The Lord summarizes what he just said in this verse. So what he said is actually three verses. How the three modes bind. So that he spoke in 14 point, this is 9, 8, 7. 7, 8, and 9. No. 6, 7, and 8 it is. Okay, let me just rub the whole thing in. So Bhagavad Gita 14.6, 7, and 8. So that he summarizes here in 9. Sattva subjugates or binds a jiva who is attached to happiness he has achieved from his actions. Rajas binds the jivas who is attached to the actions he performs. Tamas binds the jiva who is inattentive to his works and produces ignorance in him. Jnanam avrita. So that's how all the three modes bind. Now, how do we understand whether sattva is prominent or rajas is prominent or tamas is different? So this section deals with that. 10 to 13 speak of identifying the modes dominating us by their principal characteristics. It's all by Lakshana we can understand whether now Sattva is predominating or Rajas is predominating or Tamas. Now 14.10. Rajas tamascha vibhuya sattvam bhavati bharata. Raja sattvam tamaschaiva tama sattvam rajas tata. When Rajas and Tamas disappear, Rajas tamascha abhibhuya, Sattva becomes prominent. Sattvam bhavati. O descendant of Bharata. When Rajas and Sattva vanish, Tamas becomes prominent. Rajas, Sattvam, Tamaschaiva. And when Tamas and Sattva disappear, Rajas becomes prominent. Tama, Sattvam, Rajasata. So it's basically the whole play or interaction of these three modes. So when Sattva is prominent, it, you know, it subjugates these two other modes. You know, when Rajas and Tamas, disappear, there is Sattva. And then when here it is Rajas, that means Sattva and, Sattva and Tamas. And then when here it is Tamas, that means here it is Sattva and Rajas. I don't know why I drew the boxes. So this is how it is, So although one mode becomes dominant and it subjugates others or keeps in arrest the others, but still, even in that mode, it is not the pure sattva. I mean, there is nothing called as pure sattva. It is Shuddha sattva only. But there is a little combination of rajas and tamas also in that. But it is mostly predominance of sattva. Even in rajas, when there is a, when there is a predominance of rajas, there is an element of sattva and tamas also. But majorly it is predominating rajas. So that's why it is rajas. Similarly, tamas. So that's what it means. Understand the individual existence of each mode of nature as well as their mutual relationships in this way. That's it. Not much is spoken. Now, when is sattva prominent? You can understand. Sarvadvareshu dehesmin prakasha upajayate jnanam yada tada vidvat vivruddham sattvam ityuta. When illumination yada prakasha in the form of knowledge, jnanam, arises, upajayate, in all gates of the body, asmin dehe sarvadvareshu. So that means when there is illumination in all the gates of the body. So how many gates are there in the body? Who will answer this? How many gates are there in the body? Tukaram Prabhuji, yes. Yes, Prabhuji. I have unmuted you. One second. Yeah. Yes, Prabhuji, I have unmuted you.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Dandavad. There are 9 gates, Prabhu.
9 gates. So now this verse is saying, Sarvadvareshu dehesmin prakashupajayate. That means when there is illumination of knowledge in all the gates. So what exactly does it mean that the gates are illuminated? Or is it that there are some light in the gates? What exactly it means? What is your understanding? Tukaram Prabhuji.
It is understood, my understanding is that, Prabhu, it is all hygienic in terms of physical as well as our mental, this one. Hygiene in the sense, आचार विचार में शुद्धता रखना.
That is what is the meaning of illumination, or the gates are illuminated. What?
Yeah.
It says,
So it could be
if you
knowledge.
literally see, Sarva Dwareshu Deyasmin Prakashu Pajayate. That means when there is illumination of knowledge that arises in all the gates, then it is Satma. So what is this illumination of knowledge in the
Mode of
gates?
goodness, Prabhu, mode of goodness.
But what exactly it is? Have you seen goodness? Have you seen passion? Have you seen ignorance? Tell me, where have you
But
seen them?
yeah, well, someone, I'm angry on someone, so it's a
Yeah, see
kind of
that you're seeing the effect of the mode, but have you seen the modes? Is
no,
my question.
no.
So they are very subtle forces. So what it means by when the gates are illuminated in the form of knowledge in the body, what exactly is mean? What do you mean? What is the Lord trying to tell here? That's my question. Anyone else would also like to try? Yes, Dear Krish Babuji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Yes.
Prabhu, it means that uh, their perception through, I mean, senses are are in line with uh, um, in line with scriptural injunction. I mean, it is matching with what is uh,
Oh,
what is given in
okay,
Shastra,
quite
basically.
quite close, but again now just from a perspective, because this is sattva. Sattva is nothing to do with Shastra, which is transcendental.
But they, from Vedic knowledge, I think they see as per the Vedas, so something like that, I guess.
No, forget about the Vedas. Forget about just on sattva. Somebody is in sattva, his gates are illuminated. What does it mean?
They will see the things as they are. I mean, in real nature, how it is.
Uh, so I'm just giving an example that, you know, actually you need sattva also to see. Rajas is obscuring and tamas is covering, whereas sattva is illuminating. You can see things as they are. Like when you hear the sound, you know, when your gate is illuminated, that is the ear is illuminated, you can understand whether this sound is favorable for me or unfavorable for me. So whether to accept it or reject it. So that is sattva. Are you getting this point?
Yes. Yes.
Yes, is it clear? So
Yes.
that is what it means. Now he can accept sattvic impressions because they are conducive to his nature. But from a transcendental perspective, for a devotee, it means to hear spiritual sound, he'll favorably accept, and the material sounds he will reject. So, like that, you have to understand. Okay.
Yes.
Know that
Yes.
sattva has increased. Vivridam sattvam itya uta. Okay. So, let's go to the commentary. It has been stated that the prominent guna appears when the other two gunas become weak of their own accord. So, on their own accord, they become weak. Now the Lord speaks of the qualities of increased gunas in three verses. So in three verses, the Lord will speak. That is this verse 11, 12, and 13. When illumination or knowledge, real awareness of things through the sound of the Vedas appears in all the doors such as the ears, one should understand there is an increase of sattva through such symptoms of knowledge. So here it is directly spoken of the sound of the Vedas. So this is directly connected to spirituals. So even if a person is not practicing spiritual life, but he is in sattva guna, so there is also illumination. Please remember. And you have all observed, they are also quite alert in observation and they know what to take in, what to not take in. So, but here it is directly being referred, because it is there, but it is applicable to both. You have to understand that. That's the point. So, for Vedas, I explained. For a devotee perspective, it is, you know, sound vibration, that is the Vedas, he will accept, he will take it. because he is in illumination. And the material vibrations, he will reject. He will reject it. So like that. So that is means the doors are illuminated with light. It's not physically a literal light, but seeing in the light of knowledge. The word uta means indicates there will be an appearance of happiness arising from the soul. When knowledge and happiness appear, one should understand there is an increase in sattva. So, uh, again, I would like to point out that those who are sattvic also, they have inclination for knowledge and they take happiness in sattvic things. But as a devotee, progresses in Krishna consciousness, he should more come to the sattva platform. Now, he's a devotee. So, what happens is he will start experiencing transcendental knowledge and transcendental happiness. Sorry, I'm just putting the short form just to save time. Transcendental happiness. Oh, transcendental happiness. So, this is what it means here. Now, when Rajas, Lobha pravritirarambha karmanam ashama spruha rajas etani jayante vivruddhe bharatarshaba. Attachment to possessions, too much, attachment for possessions, effort to increase possessions, pravriti, just to increase, keep on increasing. And then engaging in strenuous undertakings, arambha, lot of undertakings, inability to withdraw the senses from sense objects. Ashama. Shama is to, karmanam ashama means to not able to withdraw the senses and longing for objects of enjoyment. Spruha. Spruha means, ye dil mange more basically. Arise. Etani jayante with the increase of rajas. Rajas vivriddha. Oh, but best of the Bharat. Bharata, Rishabha. So these are symptoms of when you can understand by which the mode of passion is not when there is attachment to positions, effort to increase them, strenuous activities you do, and there is inability to withdraw the senses from sense objects. Greed, absorption in various endeavors, pravriti, efforts in actions such as building a house, and non-cessation of enjoyment of objects, ashama, and desire appear with the increase of rajas. Now, tamas. Now, tamas is opposite of sattva. Sattva was mentioned as prakash. Rajas was a pravriti, but in tamas, there is neither illumination nor neither action. Aprakasho pravrittascha pramado moha evacha tamasetani jayante vivruddhe kurunandana. Absence of discernment. Aprakash. Aprakash means he's not able to discern what is right, what is not right. Absence of effort. Apravriti. Inattention, pramada, and absorption in the false, moha, evacha, appear, etani jayante, with the increase of tamas. Tamasya vivriddhe. O son of Kunti, Kuru Nandana. Vishwanath Chakatakur. Absence of discrimination, accepting sound and other sense objects not approved by the scriptures, aprakasha. Absence of all effort, apravriti, inattention, for example, conviction that one does not have anything when holding it in one's hand, pramada, and absorption in the wrong or false appear with the increase of tamas. So this is quite simple to understand. So that ends the discussion from 10 to 13. Now in the next section, the effect of conditioning of the three modes. In two verses, Krishna speaks the long-term effect, that is post-death destination. One was the medium-term effect. One was the immediate effect and direction of post-death journey. Then, based on this, Krishna will speak how one should transcend the gunas, and based on that, Arjuna will ask one verse question, but there will be three questions in that. So that's how the flow is there in chapter 14. We have completed this section, and I will be taking maybe 14, 15, 16, 17, and 18, hopefully, up till this now. But before we proceed, do you have any questions up till now? Any questions, any clarifications? Yes, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Guru.
Yes.
With reference to verse 14.11,
Mhm.
devotee's experience of transcendental knowledge and transcendental happiness, it will fall in Sattva Prabhu, or it will fall in Visuddha Prabhu?
Come again, what exactly is the question? I did not hear it very clearly.
You mentioned Prabhu, devotee's experience of transcendental knowledge and transcendental happiness with regard to verse 14.11.
Mhm.
So it will be the devotee will be in Visuddha Sattva, he will be at Sattva platform.
Okay, very interesting question. Now, actually, with the practice of bhakti, the bhakti happiness that is in the kirtan or in the katha or whatever it is, it depends again who is doing the kirtan. If it's a pure devotee and it is a pure sound vibration, or if he is in touch with the dham, which is completely Shuddha Sattva. Now he might experience happiness, and this happiness, although it is transcendental, but he is under the influence of the modes. So if he is under the influence of the mode of ignorance, then he might perceive that transcendental happiness because of his influence of the modes of ignorance. He might able to perceive only little, but the happiness is transcendental, but the modes are not able to make him experience the complete thing. And when he makes further progress, he is in passion. The happiness actually which is coming is transcendental, but because he is under the influence, he is not able to fully experience. But similarly, when he makes progress and he comes to sattva, he is now able to more perceive the happiness of that bhakti, which is bhakti happiness, which is transcendental, but still he is now more able to access. Now, when he goes to Shuddha Sattva, that means one, he is transcendental three modes, he is able to fully access that mercy. Are you able to get this point, Prabhuji?
Yes, 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 yes.
Yeah. You have to understand. So the happiness or the this uh, is transcendental, but the practitioner is under the modes. So that is, he has to elevate himself from tamas to rajas to sattva, and only when he comes to Shuddha Sattva, he can fully access that bliss. Otherwise, there is perception, but the modes are covering because he himself is covered by the modes. Okay?
Right. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you for the question. I'm very grateful to you. Okay. Yeah. Any other questions you have up till now? Yes, Tukaram Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. I don't have question, but I have a realization. Can I share with you?
Yes, Prabhuji, you can share with everyone here in this group.
Yeah, I mean everyone.
Yeah.
Now I am realizing I am totally in the mode of passion because I want to acquire, I want hankering, and I want gratification. I mean, of course, I have to study these scriptures, and I am now realizing, actually, I am now realizing. But I myself in a very, very, passion, this one, mode.
Mhm. So, what are your thoughts and what is your
I should try to elevate myself into mode of goodness in the first place.
yes, yes.
And
First
you
of all, we have to understand that there are the upper planets which are in the mode of goodness. The
Yeah.
upper planets we refer to above Swargaloka, Mahara, Jana, Tapa, and Satyaloka.
Yeah.
Okay. And the middle planetary system, that is Bhu, Bhur, Swarga, these are coming under the mode of passion.
Yes, Prabhu.
And then there are the lower planets which are in the modes of ignorance.
Right.
Now, firstly, the degree of Sattva keeps on increasing from Janalok to Tapalok to Mahar, Jana, Tapa, and then Satya. Similarly, there is also Sattva to a very high degree in Swargaloka, but there is also Rajas because the
Passion.
demigods, they are Kshatriyas by nature.
Mhm.
They are kings, they are
Yeah.
rulers of this, administrative rulers. So there is the mode of passion, but there is also a high level of fine quality of goodness, and there is enjoyment, which is more in the mode of goodness. But the rajas keeps on, becoming thicker as you go down to the Bhumandala. The Earth
Right.
planet, Earth is situated, the Bhumandala planetary system.
Okay.
And then the tamas also keeps on increasing to higher degrees as you go in the lower planet systems. So in the earth, Pradhan is Rajas. So even if somebody is a Brahmana, he will have, within Rajas there is Sattva. And that's why that Sattva is predominant. So that's why he is in Brahmana. So
Okay.
the Rajas is going to be predominant on the earthly planet. So within that now, how do we, cultivate the mode of goodness? So that's why this chapter, the next chapter, and the next chapter are very important for us. You
Right.
have to identify everything based on the modes, the foods which are in the mode of goodness, the
Okay.
places in the mode of goodness, the acts, what you do, charity. So just
Mm.
by all this analysis, and especially the 18th chapter, I don't recollect the verse section. Maybe it is from 18.18 till 18.40. It gives the whole psychological of analysis of 6 items based on the 3 modes. Determination in the 3 modes, knowledge in the 3 modes, happiness in the 3 modes. So many 6 things are evaluated. So that is like our X-ray, a psychological analysis of our, inner framework, our inner body, our mind, you can say. A framework means X-ray of our mind. We cannot locate the mind. You can
Yes.
take an X-ray of the body and see what is inside. But that section, 18 chapter, is like the X-ray of the mind. So once you get that X-ray done by studying, then you will have to work on it. Just like you
Yes.
take an X-ray and you find out, oh, this is a problem, then the doctor prescribes certain medicine. So for us, it is a lifestyle in the mode of goodness, the activities. And most important, I'll tell you, the most important thing to do is taking shelter of the spiritual master and trying to chant and hear the holy name will quickly help us to purge through these modes and gradually come to the transcendental platform. Is it clear, Prabhuji?
Okay, Prabhu. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much. Okay, so now let's go to this next section. This is very, very simple section. We'll just go through it. Yada sattve pravriddetu pralayam yati dehabrit taduttama vidam lokan amalan pratipadyate. When a person with predominance of sattva, yada sattva pravriddhe dehebrit tu, dies, pralayam yati, he attains tada pratipadyate, the pure planets, amalan lokan of the worshippers of Brahma, uttama vidam, worshippers of Brahma. When a person with the predominance of sattva dies, pralayam yati, he attains the pure worlds of the worshippers of Hiranyagarbha, Uttam Vidam, and others worlds which give happiness. So this is specifically speaking about the Hiranyagarbha worshippers. These are the yogis, and even the uh, you can take the jnanis also in one sense. So these are referring to the higher levels which above Maharlok, Janalok, Sattva. There is predominance of Sattva there. You know. The word Uttam Vidam means those who attain, win the Vindanti, the supreme, Uttamam. Rajasi pralayam gatva karma sangeshu jayate tata pralinas mudayoneshu jayate. He who dies in the mode of Rajas, Rajasi pralayam gatva, attains a position among persons attached to work. Karma sangeshu jayate. He who dies in the mode of tamas, tata pralinas tamasi, is born in the wombs of foolish. Muda yonishu jayate. That is the animal species. Okay, now the medium term effect. Karmana sukrita saho satvikam nirmalam phala rajastu phalam dukkam ajnanam tamasa phalam. The result of sattvic work. Even now also immediately you do sattvic work. What to speak? You take sattvic food. You will feel happy. You take rajasic food, you will be in distress. Stomach is in trouble. Digestion problem, motion, all this. Absence of distress. Satvikam nirmalam. The result of rajas is sorrow. Rajas tu phalam dukkam. The result of tamas is ignorance. Ajnanam tamasa phalam. The result of sattvic, sukrita's work is purity without distress. The result of rajas work is sorrow. The result of tamasic work is senselessness or unconsciousness. Then immediate effect. Sattvat sanjayate jnanam rajaso lobha eva cha pramado moho tamaso bhavato vajnanam eva cha. Knowledge arises from sattva. Sattvat sanjayate jnanam. So again, you can see Sattvat sanjayate jnanam. So does it mean, sorry, I'm using a different pen. Sattvat sanjayate jnanam. Now, there is the NOI verse. Syat Krishnama charitadisu kirtananu smartyo kramena manasi niyojya. No. Pittopatas taptasya narochikano kintu adarat khalu किंतु आदरात अनुतनिम कलुसैव जुष्टा स्वाद्विक्रमात् तद gadamulahantri. I'm not able to recollect the full verse. Okay, I have it here. Let me. Syat Krishnam charitadisitapya vidya pittopataptarasanasya narochikanu किंतु आदरातनुदिनं खलु सैव जुष्टा स्वाद्विक्रमाद् भवति तदगद मूलहन्त्री. So here in NOI it is speaking about transcendental knowledge and transcendental happiness. But again, if one is practicing scriptures and gradually he is coming to the sattva, then gradually the knowledge, arising of knowledge will happen. But even for materialistic people, you have observed, they are more in sattva guna and they are very calm, peaceful, and they have knowledge about things, clarity is there. So it is applicable to both in a generic sense, if you see also. Greed arises from rajas. Rajaso lobha. And inattention, confusion, and ignorance. Pramada moho ajnanam evacha arises from tamas. Tamaso bhavantaha. Sattva sanjayate jnanam. Spiritual experience comes and goes. Spiritual state, something that lasts. Just spiritual experience, valuable but not transformational. Wanting to be spiritual without being religious is like wanting to be healthy without taking medicine. When you're sick, you have to take medicine to be healthy. So people, all want to just go for also some spiritual experience. They want to have a spiritual experience. That will not work because it is something which doesn't last for long and it is not transformational. Rajaso lobha evacha. Because the craving for more never goes away, we can never be satisfied no matter how much more we get. The way to peace is not through indulgence, but through tolerance and transcendence. Okay, the last direction of post-death journey. ऊर्ध्वं गच्छन्ति सत्त्वस्ता मध्ये तिष्ठन्ति राजसा जगन्यगुणवृत्तिस्ता अधो गच्छन्ति tamasa. Those situated in sattva go to the higher planets. So this is a general principle. And based on their higher and higher degree of sattva, they go to higher and higher planets which are in the mode of goodness. Urdhvam gachanti sattvasta. Those in rajas remain in the world of humans. Madhye tishtanti rajasa. And those of the lowest guna, jaganya guna vrittista tamasa, go down towards to the hell. Adho gachanti. Jaganya, the lowest guna, which is tamasa, they go down. According to the amount of sattva, one can go upwards to Brahmaloka. Those in Rajaguna dwell on the human plane, Madhya. Those of the lowest, Jaganya Guna, with tamasic behavior like inattention and laziness, go to hell. So now, transcending the modes. So this is the last section. And where are we? We are here. Now, and time is already up. We started 7:30. So let me just take two verses, if you don't mind. Two verses I take and I'll just complete the discussion of the Lord. We'll come to Arjuna's question and answer in one more class. So that will complete the discussion in 14th chapter. Now Krishna makes, after discussing all this, he summarizes in these two words. Nayam gunebhya kartaram yada drishtanupashyati gunebhyascha param vetti madbhavam so adhigacchati. When the jiva sees yada drishtva anupashyanti. So drishtva, drishta, drishta. Drishta is not drishtva, sorry, drishta it is. Drishta is the seer, that is the soul. So when the jiva sees, that action is performed by the gunas in the form of doer, the action, and the objects of action. Nayam gunebhya kartaram. And understand that the soul is separate from this. Gunebhyascha param vetti. The soul is separate from the gunas. He attains a state of merging with me. Mad bhavam sadhigacchati. So this is a state of merging with me. This is for Jnani. And for the Bhakta, it is he will attain the Lord's abode. So that's the difference. Having shown the repeated births caused by association with gunas, the Lord now shows liberation, which is beyond the gunas, in two verses. So in two verses, he speaks about how one can attain liberation. To attain liberation, we have to go beyond the gunas. When the jiva, drishta, does not observe any other doer than the gunas, which change into the form of agent, the action, and the object. When he realizes that only the gunas are always the doers and knows the soul is separate from the gunas, the jiva attains adhigacchati, merging with me. So what is this? When the jiva does not observe any other doer than the gunas, which change into the form of agent, the action, and the object. So here there are three things you have to understand. Kartaham iti manyate, ahankar vimudatma karta. So he thinks, I am performing this action. The jiva thinks, but the action is ultimately, is done by the gunas. And the object, I am enjoying this object, So he identifies with the object and somebody slaps him, Actually, that action is also impelled by the gunas only, right? He has become angry because the mode of passion has become. So in all the things, you see only the gunas actually. It is the gunas in the form of agent or the action or the object, And he realizes that it's only the gunas who are always the doers and knows, knows the soul is separate from the gunas. Then the jiva merges with me, mad bhavam. It should be understood from the second to the last verse in this chapter. that one must still perform bhakti even after practicing sachan in order to get this result. So there is a bhakti element in that gyan by which he can attain merging. But for devotees, please remember that it will be attaining the Lord. If he's practicing only bhakti. Now Krishna concludes, Gunan etan atityatrin dehi deha samudbhavan janma mrityu jara dukkhe vimuktamritam ashnute. Surpassing the three gunas, etan trin gunan atitya, which give rise to the body, deha samudbhavan, free from the suffering of birth, death, and old age. Janma mrityu jara dukkhe vimukta, one attains eternal life. Dehi amritam ashnute. Vishnu Chakatakur has a one-line commentary. That person is beyond the gunas. That is explained in this verse. So he has gone beyond the gunas, and that's why he becomes free from Janma Mrityu Jara Dukkha. Now Bhaktivinoda Thakur summarizes everything. By his faith, Nishtha in transcendence, the embodied living entity crosses beyond the three modes of material nature, Sattva, Rajas, and Tamas. He attains liberation from bodily miseries of birth, death, old age, and disease, and enjoys nectar in the form of prema. Now, based on this discussion, Arjuna is going to ask question. So this question together with the answer we will take up in the next class, because that will become one whole complete discussion. I will take up the question and the answer to this in the next class. Any questions, any clarifications you have up till now? Navneet Kalra Mataji, yes.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Danvat Pranam. I have two
Yes.
questions, Prabhuji. Uh,
Yeah.
all these modes, but they work in combination. It's not exclusively Satya, Rajas, or Tamas, right?
Yes.
So,
But
how do
as I
you
mentioned,
understand
there
that?
is always predominance of one. Always the
But,
whole interplay is how, it is when sattva is predominant, it brings under control rajas and tamas. When rajas becomes predominant, it brings under control tamas and sattva. And when tamas is predominant, it brings its arrest, sattva and rajas. So there is a quantity of rajas and tamas, but predominance is, the prevailing mode. That pushes you down. It's just like a weighing scale, we have our understanding, but it is a weighing scale. Once, particular quantity is more on one side, it just goes on the other side. It comes down and this becomes more prominent. This is on the upper side. It doesn't mean that, that mode is not there. It is there. The weighing scale is connected, only thing it is a little down, and after some time it will come up like that. Are you getting this point? What I'm trying to say?
yeah, yeah, but like we keep fluctuating between all the three, right?
Yeah, see, it depends. Early morning time is sattva. Now, although in the environment there is sattva predominantly, but we might be deeply influenced by tamas. Externally, there is ratvas. That's why we get a lot of sleep, even in our chanting. So, gradually by chanting, when we come to more sattva, and then we are seeing sattva in the morning, we become more happy because now we are in sattva. Now, interestingly, if somebody is passionate, he might be feeling a little better in the morning. But with the day, when Rajas becomes prominent, he gets caught up in Rajas and he just doesn't know how the Rajas takes him here and there. But a person in Sattva also continues to maintain Sattva, and his Rajas is under the control of Sattva. Please try to understand this. And now, evening time, somebody who is in Tamas, he just gets carried away. Rajas also will pull him, but Sattva person, although it is Tamas, but still it is under control. He doesn't get influenced by tamasic activities. Whereas a tamasic person, he becomes hyperactive in tamas. So, based on the individual modes which are internally influencing based on the conditioning of the jiva, the the modes will have effect, although a certain particular mode is prominent during the particular time. But the internal conditioning, which mode he is influenced, his swabhav is, that will also play a mode, to play a role. So like that, the interaction is very, very complicated. I hope you got it right.
Yeah. And I have one more question. Can I ask?
Yes, Mataji.
Yeah, Prabhuji, help me understand that though we identify that gunas is the performing or everything, but as a jiva, you are also judged, right? That is how your conditioning is working, and you get the next body.
No, no, no. Come again. What exactly I in the
Like in
the
the
points
last,
you made, and then the other half you said that I did not get any connection in that. What you're trying to
because
say?
this, because now we're saying that we have to identify that you're performing under the gunas, right? So we have to see separate that all the actions are being done by the guna.
Yeah,
The
if you
jiva
are
has
able to
to,
see separate, then you always see that there are the gunas which are acting, and I have nothing to do. So you are separate from it. So that's why you don't get entangled. You will be liberated then.
but then you are also like judged, right? For your actions that you have performed, whether under gunas or otherwise, like
You are
whatever I'm
judged.
doing.
You're speaking about you're judged by what others, or you're judged by
Not,
Yamaraj. What
not,
exactly are?
yeah, Yamraj, not
Huh,
others.
that is what that was. I wanted clear. Now that is what it is mentioned that when one is transcendental to the gunas, and he is seen that all these is happening by the gunas influence, you know and then he is able to transcend the gunas. That's why. So he'll not be judged by Imraj at all. Where's the question? When Duryodhan
Prabhuji, your
spoke
voice was
those heavy.
breaking.
Okay. Is it now clear?
Yeah, but I couldn't get whatever you spoke until now.
Yeah, I'm just repeating. Basically, when
Okay.
Duryodhana, heard those words against Vidura, he was under the influence of what? Mahamaya. And
Yeah.
he spoke very heavy words against Vidura. But Vidura could see that he is just an instrument for me to, become more attached to the Lord, and, give up this so that I can more devote time to the Lord. So that's why he kept his, bow at the doorstep and left. So it was, so he could see that it is just the influence of the gunas.
Oh. So we have to see
Okay.
like that. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's it is not easy to see that until you are influenced by the gunas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you,
So
Prabhuji.
gradually you have to come to that, right from tamas, go to rajas, and then sattva, and then come to the transcendental platform. And this can happen with the practice of bhakti gradually.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
thank you.
Any other questions? Bir Krish Prabhuji, you had a question, I guess.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Prabhu,
Yes.
this uh, observation by the jiva that only gunas are acting. So
Hmm.
this is true, definitely transcendental platform, no?
Yes, definitely. Without that, how we can see, Naiva kinchit karomiti yukto manyate tattvavit pashan sparshan jigran indriyasya indriyateshu vartate iti dharan. I have
So
nothing to do
Prabhu,
with this. It is the senses are interacting in the senses. I am different from it. So he's on the transcendental platform.
my question is, uh, this is applicable, I mean, only for the Jnani or for how it is perceived for devotees? I mean,
For the devotee, same thing. With the practice of bhakti, when he comes to the stage of nishtha,
mm,
you know, he'll be almost free from the influence of the modes of passion and ignorance. Is it okay?
But again, he has to transcend the modes to see that.
Pardon?
To see that only gunas are acting, that means he has to transcend the mode. No? He has to get transcendental perspective.
Yeah, correct.
So that is insta stage.
Well, it cannot be like cannot say exactly at what stage it is, because stitve sattva prasidati, Vishwanath Chakra Thakur says as the stage of asakti. But gradually he can see himself as an observer and not get too much influenced. And it is uh, it's a very subtle thing, and it happens quite gradually. And from there, going to Shuddha Sattva, Sitve Sattva Prasiddhiti Asakti, the transcendence is, to our higher levels realized. Are you getting my point?
Yes, yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, then. So we will stop for now. And the last section is tomorrow, one session we'll take and finish the 14th chapter. And then we will begin with the 15th chapter. Okay. Thank you very, very much. Grantraj Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna.